Hello, and welcome to Money, Wealth and Real Riches. This is the very first pod webcast that myself, Shinade, and Patricia are hosting over 8 weeks. And we're going to be coming to you live every Wednesday at 1:45 p.m, which is UK time. We'll be able to put that into your time zone over the coming weeks as we get a little bit more organised. Yeah. And we describe ourselves as Celtic wild women with fire in our blood and passion in our bellies. And we have passion in our bellies to help women everywhere change the way they experience life.
Yeah. Woohoo!
Oh, yay!
Yay! And today's theme is all about playing the money game.
Yep, definitely. Yeah, this is our theme in general is money. As I said, the name of our series is Money, True Wealth and Real Riches. And yeah, today's theme for our welcome introduction to our podcast series is really just talking about money as a game, really. And in thinking about that myself, and doing a bit of prep for today's first show, it made me think about we're going into unknown territory for a lot of us, or new terrain with money. Certainly myself, over the decades that I've been around here on planet Earth, trying to play the money game, and I use the word trying because it's not straightforward in the way that we've been introduced to it and brought up around it. It's kind of been less and less as a game. So yes, it's new terrain, it's new territory, meaning that territory is within ourselves, and that's what we're going to be uncovering over this 8-week introduction to what we're offering you.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting, isn't it?
It is super exciting. You know, Trish, you and I guess, birthed this idea, for want of another way of putting it, or started to chat about what we're doing now way back in, a few months ago in April. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. It was, it was when we were in Zurich, wasn't it?
It was,
yeah. Making that film, as you do.
As you do, and that's another story. Yeah,
that is another story. But yeah, we started hatching this plan the last few months, haven't we? Because our story around money and becoming financially independent, not just as individuals but as women, that's really the important issue, isn't it? It's like, to be a woman in this day and age, we're really stepping up and stepping into our power more and more. And there's a lot more women entrepreneurs out there, isn't there? There's a lot more creative women that are saying, yes, I'm super creative, but also I have this business side to me as well. And we find ourselves in quite a unique position. I think we're like first generation, aren't we? Really? First generation as women, that we can choose not to just have families and not to just be focused in that role. We can now step out and have it all. And with that comes quite a juggle. With that comes a juggle of responsibilities, whether that's personal or professional. And a lot of us find ourselves, doing this with plates, all the sorts of different plates, all the different hats that we have to wear day to day. But as women with our own hands on our own purse strings, as it were, we can say what we want to spend our money on now. We have a voice, and that's new. That's a new place to be in our Western world, in our society, as well as in the world as general. We are really flying the flag here and making steps towards a better future for ourselves, but also our children and the girls that are following in our footsteps. So they're hopefully they're coming up from behind us, and they'll just think that this is a normality. But we've had to really forge the way, haven't we? To go head to head with a lot of male dominated business, as it were, or dominated, you know, males dominate, don't they, on lots and lots of different levels. But I think we're all on if we look at it from a spiritual point of view, both the male and the female are internally rejigging, so that we can all create and co-create this new world that we're building. And part of that is through how we spend our money, how we make our money, what we choose to invest in, whether that's outside of ourselves or inside of ourselves. It's all really important parts to play, isn't it? So and that's what we're doing here. That's what you know, when we were sat having our cuppa and our lovely cake in Zurich, that's what we were chatting about. We were like, you know, we got really inspired and enthused, because it's been a journey to get to where we are right now, hasn't it?
Absolutely.
And then we reach our ceiling as well, you know, as women in business, we reach a ceiling, and then we have to kind of expand out of our comfort zone and go on to the next level. And women are really good at supporting each other, aren't we? We're like really good at holding space for each other and giving ourselves a little push in the general direction. So that's why Sinead and I both kind of decided to create this space on Facebook and meet every week, so that we could just extend that support to a larger family of women.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I couldn't have put it better myself. And you said so much in what you've just said there.
Yeah.
Trish, there's loads going on for us as women, females, in the world that we're experiencing ourselves in at the moment, in changing times. And there's so much out there, so many people talking about it. And you know, you said that we're the first generation of women, and that we are, you know, compared to our mothers, never mind our grandmothers, and you know, the females that came before us. I sometimes like to think of it as a cusp, cusp rather than a first generation, because within myself I can still feel really torn. It's like I have one step in the one foot in the arena that my mother, grandmother, going back, you know, all that long line, we're in, and one step in this new world where women do have freedom on all levels, externally, well, in the Western world at least, anyway. And you know, I experience it as a cusp, but as you said, we're creating new paths. We're role modeling, showing new ways to the younger girls that are around us, whether they're our children, people we work with, just people that we're crossing paths with, and not only the young girls, but the young boys as well. And because boys and men, they've had their own experience of having to play out certain roles in relation to money, and work, and that's bound them up over the generations. So for both you know, sexes, male and female, it is a changing world that we're finding ourselves waking up into every day, with challenges and struggles. And you know, we're here, starting from today, moving forward on quite an auspicious day, on a very auspicious day actually, 4th of July 2018, and that over a few hundred years has become a special day in well, it's definitely American culture, and by default the Western world, or most of the males and females that are doing business. America is such a big player in that. The American dollar, there's loads of music, there's loads of stuff written about that. And that's another reason why we chose today to launch this ship, to launch this Facebook Live, this series that I keep calling it a series. When I say it myself, I'm thinking that's quite interesting, because it's a series. It's not a series, and we're making it a play. So, and yes, we are moving from as I said earlier, into this new terrain, which is from being serious and I guess uptight and potentially anxious, to coming into this new, more fun, more exciting way of generating an income. And that actually comes from within. And recently I started to really tune into and learn a bit more about money as more of an emotional currency. Well, we call money currency, and we have got the potential, and we've never been trained this through our educational systems, that we generate it from within, and it's through our emotional, mental well-being, our clarity and our freedom. And that ties in with Independence Today as well. So over the weeks, we'll be exploring what it means, this emotional currency, what it means for us as a collective women, and also for you, me, all of us as individual, unique ladies, females, entrepreneurs, business people in the world. Do you know about what do you know about that term, or have you heard it before, emotional currency, Trish? We haven't had the chance to chat about that, have we?
No, we haven't, and I haven't heard it as such, emotional currency, but I have pondered about it in terms of like when we exchange something, we buy something, and now we over here in Britain, you probably have it in America as well, we've got like the chip card, and you just literally ping the thing, ping the little thing, you buy it, you ping the thing, and off you go. And there's no opportunity even to engage with the person at the till, at checkout, to look them eye to eye and say thank you for this exchange. Because I see money as an energetic. Yes, it's paper and coin and gold and silver and blah blah blah, but on an energetic level, it is simply energy, and it's the biggest energetic exchange on the planet. So emotional currency, energetic currency, I suppose it's all similarities, and it all fuses together. So I make a point of, when I buy something, even if I'm using that quick chip and pin thing where I can just flash it and ping off, to engage with the person that I'm buying my dinner from, or my shoes from, or whatever, and have that little soul connection, because that is what it's about. That's the exchange. And it doesn't have to be money, does it? That exchange, I mean, I exchange things all the time with people. I'm not attached to having money in exchange for the services that I do. I've exchanged my services for all sorts of things over the years. And I think that feeds into the creativity, and it also feeds into that feeling of abundance and true wealth, that you are not defined by how much is in your bank account. Because as you know, you can have, I've worked with people with shed loads in their bank account, yet they feel poor, yet they feel like they haven't got enough, that they don't do enough, that they haven't. So we know that those 6 figures or 8 figures don't necessarily mean that you feel wealthy or happy or content or safe.
Absolutely.
So I totally get, emotional currency, energetic currency. There's much more to money than this one-dimensional reality of just like, I can look in my purse now and there isn't any money in there. It's all on a card. I've really become a cashless. My little world has become quite cashless. When the boys say, "Mum, have you got some pocket money?" I'm like, oh, I have to actually go and get some cash out, because we're just desensitizing
we have
to it.
That's right. And it's such, again, and that's part of this age that we're all moving through, because obviously originally this thing called money, which we know is pieces of paper with faces on it and buildings and numbers and different symbols on it, and bits of metal with the same kind of symbols and numbers on it used to represent gold or another precious physical commodity.
Yeah.
And since I think it's roughly about 1970, 1971, that was just not true, and little by little it's gone into this electronic system.
Yeah, it's just numbers on a computer, isn't it?
Right.
A whole lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like you, I'm the same. When I go and tap my card, I love it. Actually, I first got introduced to contactless, as we call it here in the UK. I don't know what it's called anywhere else, but when I lived in Australia for a while, they had it there before we had it here, and I absolutely loved it because it's easy as well. It's simple, and I find it fun. I love it. Actually.
Oh, I do as well. It's like being on Star Trek. I go, it's like I'm on Star Trek, and I tap it away.
I know, exactly. I'm the same, and I live in London, as you know, and I'm the same. I want that connection, a smile, and and just because that's what brings it fun. It touches my heart. It just, I don't know, I can't even put it into words, but I love that connection.
Yeah, it's beyond the thing that I'm buying, and it's beyond the money I'm exchanging. It's beyond that. It's a human connection, and I don't know why, but I always flash to Native American Indian. I don't know why. Maybe it's an old memory from an old lifetime of exchanging my necklace that I've made for the blanket that was made, exchanging this clay pot that we've made for that food from the next village. And there's so much energy and time spent creating that thing that I'm exchanging for the other thing that we need in the village. That's the energy. That's what's so lacking in the world today, that input. And that's why I love now, now having the choice that I have now to support those independent businesses, to support the potter. If I'm going to buy some bowls, I go up into the forest near me, and there's this lovely potter. She throws her own pots, and she I'd prefer to give her the money that I've earned doing what I've done to help someone, and then spreading the love like that. It's just, I suppose it's a conscious way of using money, because money is simply a tool, isn't it? And it's only as good as the user.
That's right. Yeah. And like, obviously, what you've just described with your memory or the thoughts about the Native Americans and stuff, it just makes sense. It's easy, it's simple, but it's very profound as well. We're here, and some people have got the skills to make a blanket, somebody else has got a skill to make a bowl, and they both have practical uses. The blanket keeps us warm, the bowl contains our food or water, and it makes sense that we just exchange that with each other. The system, sorry.
So it is about how can we keep that gold nugget and bring it over into our day and age. Over into our quick hit, and the technology that we have, in our day and age, that connection. And I think the connection, I know we work in quite a transformative field, both Shinade and I. We work with people right across the planet, don't we? And one of our mediums is the laptop, is the computer, and one could say that's quite a disconnected place to work, one could say, but actually I through intent and through tapping into my own center and my own connection, I've managed, even if someone's living in Canada or the very end of America or over in Australia, to be able to connect energetically with somebody like we're doing now, and with all the women that will be watching and participating as the weeks go forth, because this is participatory, isn't it? We want people to join in. We want you to comment. If you have something to say, then we can get you on board. This is a great platform for that, if you have a little something to say. So it's a great way of connecting, so we can take that old school way of being and bring it into our day and age. It just takes a little bit of thought, doesn't it? And a little bit of consciousness around what we do and how we use that money, isn't it?
Absolutely. And just, you know, accepting where we're at right now in the history of our stories as humans, and how amazing technology is to bring together, you know, like-minded, light-hearted people from all over this amazing planet that we're on. You know, there's about 7.5 billion people, which I remind myself of constantly. I've traveled a lot, and I know you have too, Trish, that, you know, there's so many of us too, and that there's this fun and joy and some, you know, so many games that we can play with each other, and that's what the laptop can do for us. That's what the internet is doing for us, and that's what is enabling us to kind of keep it real again, because technology, the internet, it's been growing rapidly since its introduction in the early to mid 90s. I can remember using it for the first time when I lived and worked in Spain 20 years ago. I had an office base in Malaga, and can remember using, and it was, you know, this new Star Trek type thing then, and look where we are now. It's really progressed with, you know, the platform that we're using now, Be Live on Facebook, and I am incredibly grateful for that, because we can do what we're doing now, share what we got excited about in Zurich in April, and as I said in our introduction, what Trish and I have in common, apart from working in the same transformational field, is we're both of Irish Celtic origin, and we bonded over that, and we realised that is a very strong cultural influence to have moving through us, and yes, I'm so looking forward to hearing from you, where you're from, about your culture, about how awesome the internet and using your laptop and your phone and all the different platforms are for you, or if you would like some tips and some help on how to do that as well. This is 8 weeks that we're going to be running this introduction to our pod webcast series. I'm using both those terms. And we're just super excited to be here, and again be on this, you know, yay, the internet!
Yay, I know,
they got the internet. I feel like, no, I'm not on commission at all from.
No,
it's like,
but it is. It's opened up the doors, hasn't it? It's opened up the doors so that we can reach so many more people. It's going to be an exciting few weeks, isn't it?
It is. And I look forward to really breaking the taboo around money. That's one of the things that I have, breaking the taboo, and starting to talk about it, because one of the things that I've noticed in the culture that we're in, I don't know if you've noticed it, Trish, there is a taboo about talking about it, about enjoying it.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Money is the root to all evil. Money doesn't bring you happiness. Well, I beg to differ. I beg to differ, because not having money and not being able to pay your bills and put food on the table and to buy your kids some new shoes is utterly miserable. And so whilst it can't literally buy you happiness, it can absolutely buy you those experiences of feeling safe, of feeling happy, of having adventure, of expanding your family, of being able to say yes more often to your children, you know. But it's in essence, it's not the money, it's those experiences that bring you true wealth, isn't it? It's sitting on your sofa with your kids with that smile on your face, knowing that your bills are covered and there's food on your table, and the kids are healthy and happy. That's true wealth. That's real riches, and that's an inner game plan, isn't it? That's playing the game from the inside out. You know, because you know, once you feel safe, secure, and happy on the inside, and you feel rich and abundant, because I've worked quite extensively with people around the money game. We've got, you know, several books out around the money game, lots of money hacks around the money game. I'm also an NLP master and trainer, so I work extensively with people to up their money game, and it's the internal game plan that once that has been sorted out, then money flows abundantly into your life. It does. I've seen it over and over and over again from people that have had minus, you know, 30,000, 60,000 pounds in their banks, to people that have had, you know, six-figure pluses in their banks, but still feel poor and like they haven't got enough. So I've worked with all ends of the scale, but it's the money game, it's the inner game that we are looking at here. And once you get that sorted on the inside, then your financial story, your true wealth story, those experiences change on the outside. And that's what was exciting, wasn't it, about our conversation in Zurich that's promoted this whole thing, was about, we just want more women to know that. And still, you know, in this day and age, I work with women who don't have full say on their family bank account. Yeah, they don't have, you know, he goes out to work, she goes out to work. She does also she's got the mental load. She's also doing the children, and the bank account's there. But you know, so many women I work with, they have to jump through hoops to have access to be able to spend something on themselves, or even if the husband's absolutely fine with it, they've got this inner blueprint, this inner guilt that they can't spend it on themselves, and it's nothing to do with him at all. You know, he happily goes on a canoe trip with the lads, and is shocked when she's not going off with her girls. You know, he's oblivious. I've had, you know, worked with all sorts, but it is our own internal world, and there's a lot of that blueprint that we have inherited as women that we don't need it. It no longer serves us, and that's what the 8 weeks is all about. It's about disentangling that blueprint, personally, professionally, locally and globally, and recreating another kind of financial or money or true wealth map, isn't it?
Absolutely. And also, you know, from that, learning exactly what it feels like. What does your blueprint feel like? Because as women have more connection and greater access to our feeling bodies, so you'll be able to navigate this new terrain, enter this new terrain, and sustain, you know, abundance, money flowing into your bank account, those numbers that you get up on your laptop screen, or that magically go into this card that you can tap your way through to the travel agents, to you know, the supermarket, to going to a concert, to just really, really enjoying the goodness of life, what we've generated from within, to be able to bring that into our worlds for ourselves, and by default to those that we love, whether it's our children, our parents. And so it's going to be a great 8 weeks, well, 7 if we count this as the first one. So this is number 1, and we'll be coming to you every Wednesday 1:45, and that's UK time. But yeah, it's been so great to connect with you today, to meet you, and really look forward to getting to know you more and more over the weeks. Please feel free to add a comment, to drop us a message, and have you got anything else that you want to add as we bring this number 1 to an end?
No, everything that she said, all that way. Everything that she said, and it's exciting. We're going to do lots of inner work together, and a lot of a lot of exploration. So yeah, I look forward to seeing you all next week.
Yep, me too. So see you next week. For our theme next week is going to be you as a generator of money, which is going to give
money
you
generator.
the money generator. Yeah, giving you a sense of what real independence can feel like. So until next week, remember to play the money game, and happy Independence Day, July 2018.
Yay!
Bye everyone.